Yo, what's up guys? Vibe and Jivin back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I handle people who put you down for doing what you love, and how I gained motivation to grind harder through a lot of these experiences. Before we hop into the video, please consider using code JivanTV in the Fortnite item shop, or at least make sure you're using somebody's code because it helps us out a ton. Now let's get into this video. So there was a point in time where I was so close to quitting, so close to giving up YouTube, gaming, and just focusing on normal goals like, succeeding in college. I don't know if you guys have ever felt this, but sometimes when you're working on a side hobby and you have big aspirations for it, you want to really succeed, really make it your full-time job. And then when you tell other people about it, sometimes they'll say stuff like, make sure you have a backup plan, or only 1 in a million people can do that. Or they'll even just laugh at the idea. I don't know if you guys have ever had that happen. The first time it's like, yeah, whatever. But then over time it kind of adds up and you're like, dang, maybe I should just give this up. Nobody thinks this is a possibility. Maybe I should just quit. So I was at that point at one time in my life. I'd been grinding YouTube videos for a while, maybe like a year. I did have backup plans. I wasn't only grinding that. I was still in college. I was still working a part-time job to save up money. But my biggest goal was to become a full-time YouTuber. It's just all that little stuff was eating me up. And so I was out hanging with some of my friends. We went to a state park, and one of my friends was super into tarot card readings. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like fortune telling. I wasn't really sure if I believed in that kind of thing, but I'm one of those people that goes into every experience with an open mind. While I don't believe, the gods are coming down and telling me, oh, this and that through the cards, I still went into the experience with an open mind. So she brought out her tarot cards and started doing a reading. So she flipped a few cards, she was looking at the cards. The cards basically have pictures on them, and she tries to read what the pictures are saying. And so she said, you have this one career opportunity that you really want to pursue, but you're not really sure if you should go fully in with it. And, that was kind of spot on. She didn't even really know that I was grinding YouTube. So, I was like, oh, dope. That's pretty spot on. And I was like, okay, so what do you have to say for me? And she said, you got to lay out all the pros and cons for each of the possible career paths that you're thinking about. And then once you have all that stuff laid out in front of you, just follow your heart and think about which one is actually going to be the most beneficial. Are the pros worth handling the cons? All that kind of stuff. And so you know what I did? I did exactly that. Exactly what she and the tarot cards told me to do. And it helped me out a lot. It was from that I got some of the biggest fuel for grinding my craft. Before we go into why and how I got that fuel, I just want you to think and see, sometimes even if you're not that excited about what's gonna happen, or you don't fully believe in something that you're doing, I didn't fully believe in tarot cards, because I went in with an open mind, I still got some good life advice from it, and I enjoyed hanging out with my friends there. Some people are too close-minded about things. For example, sometimes I'll be having conversations with somebody about just fun concepts, like the stuff I talk about on this channel, is life a game type thing. And they'll be so close-minded about it that they won't even enjoy the conversation, they'll just disagree with everything you say, because they have it locked in their head what's right and wrong. But if they would have gone into that conversation with an open mind, they could have at least enjoyed the conversation, and maybe even gained some motivation from it, or learned something from it. Even if you don't leave the conversation believing life is a game. I don't know if I fully believe that. It's just that if you go into the conversation or you go into the experience, whatever it may be, you can have fun and you can learn from it sometimes. Just like I did here. And here's how. So I went home, I laid out all my pros and cons for each of the different career paths. I tried to gauge how excited I was about each one. The career path for YouTube was so far ahead of any of the others, I was so excited about it. And the cons were, there's not a guaranteed stability in money if you're doing YouTube. Your page could die and then you have no income. And you don't have health insurance or anything like that, so it's more expensive to pay for all that stuff. And that kind of thing scared me. And then there's also the fact that, some people look down on this, especially the older generation. They'll hear about that and they'll instantly say you're still getting your college degree, right? Even if you're a successful YouTuber, they'll say that kind of stuff. And so those were the cons, but the pros are just so much better. I love making YouTube videos for you guys. I love streaming, and I love just being creative for a living. So with that all in mind, I was able to turn those little negative comments into fuel for grinding, and here's how. Anytime I hear that, it kind of sparks a little fear in my head. The fear of not being able to maintain this career path, or the fear of being looked down on by somebody for what I'm doing. But anytime I get these sparks of fear from these negative comments, or these slightly odd looks, it just builds up motivation. Fear can be one of the biggest motivators. The fear of failing is the biggest of all of them. If I'm scared to fail, it's not going to stop me, it's going to push me harder. All it took was a little change of mindset, you know? All these little comments before, they used to put me down, they used to make me hesitate as to whether I should be doing this or not. But now, because of a change of mindset, I use that to help me. Anytime I hear somebody say that, I feel more motivated than ever. And that's really hard for some people. A lot of people think pretty much like I used to think. Whenever you hear somebody say something like that, you know, maybe you should just quit. Maybe you start hesitating. But if you can train your mind to start thinking the other way, to start thinking, yeah, they're right, you know, this is a little bit of a risky path. Or yeah, there is a good chance I might fail. If you think like that and use that as more motivation, thinking like, oh, because I might fail, maybe if I work 10 times harder, I'll have a better chance of succeeding. And that's 100% true. Sometimes it'll build up, you know, sometimes too many people will say too many things that you don't want to hear, and you might feel demotivated for a little bit. But just while you're demotivated, start trying to change your mindset. Start trying to think like, why am I demotivated? I should be more motivated than ever. Whether it be you're trying to become a painter, or you're trying to study in college but you're having a really hard time, or even in high school, or you want to become a really good basketball player, maybe play for a D1 school. Whatever it is, if people say stuff like I've been talking about in this video, use it as fuel. Now, there was one other thing that I talked about in this video that kind of doesn't fit in with this motivation thing. So when people hear about what you're doing and they look down on you for it, they think, what a stupid career path. I'm sure you guys have seen those comments on YouTube videos where it's like, get a real job, all that stuff. Well, first of all, you're literally a square for saying that. But I have had people in real life say stuff like that to me. I'll say, yeah, I make YouTube videos, gaming videos for a living. And they'll be like, well, you're still going to college, right? You're trying to get a real job, right? Kind of seems like a waste of life if you ask me. And a lot of times this will be people that I'm not really close with. The closer you are with people, the more supportive they're gonna be. But sometimes strangers don't understand. And so when he said that to me, you know what I said? I said, tell me what you like, you know, tell me what your motivations are. Tell me what you think a real job is. And he was like, you should be a businessman or a scientist or a mathematician. And I was like, you know, that's really great and all. And I was studying to be an astrophysicist. You know, I was top of my class in college. But I dropped out of school because I made a living doing the thing I love the most. Are you telling me that I shouldn't be doing what I love because I need to do what you say? I need to go to school and be like 90% of the population? Are you saying I can't have dreams of my own? Like NBA players, you know, they have dreams, they're entertainers. TV stars, are you gonna poop on their careers just because you think they should be a scientist, a mathematician, all that stuff? Is that what you think? And just so you know, I wasn't saying this aggressively like I'm saying in this video, but I just wanted to really get into his mind and see what he was seeing. And he said, you know, those are real jobs, you know, they work really hard to get where they are. And so it was at that point that I had to tell him, you know, it's not an easy job. You know, I gotta spend most of my day editing. I gotta gather footage. I gotta take notes. Some videos I'll even write multiple page-long scripts. I have to deal with sponsors. I gotta stay up to date on my social media and lots of other responsibilities. And on top of that, these are not my only goals. I also want to start a paint shop online, a motivational channel to help people get along through hard times. I'm doing all this stuff working around 10 to 12 hours a day, and you're telling me I need to get a real job? Sorry, pal. I'm just saying, guys, don't let people put you down for grinding what you love to do. Use this video as motivation and go accomplish great things. Love you guys. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.